Welcome back to the Hurry Up Offense. 5 minutes of fantasy football news and advice. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. Let's go. Today's topic is hit them in their weak spots. But first, let's get into the news. Michael Thomas is still sidelined at practice, and this is troubling. I don't know what to think here. I mean, we get reports about a hamstring after his ankle and how he was ready to go at one point, but then he got into this fight and now there's some kind of dissension amongst the ranks. We really don't know what to think about Michael Thomas, so it's really up in the air. He could play this week, he could be out for the rest of the season. God only knows at this point. John Brown is back to being a full go at practice right now, which is good news for him in the fantasy world. Plus, it is really good news for Josh Allen because as we have seen, Josh Allen plays much better when both his options are on the field. So Stephon Diggs will get a bump, John Brown will get a bump, and Josh Allen will get a bump. And that run game is still horrible. Miles Sanders is still out of practice. Dear God, Deontay Johnson just came back from injury, had a massive weekend, a massive game for fantasy, and now he's out of practice again with a toe injury. What the hell? Austin Hooper is still out of practice with appendicitis, so don't look for him this weekend. Aaron Jones is still out. And he looked like he wanted to play last weekend. He went there and suited up, didn't play. Now it looks like he's farther away from playing than he was last week. We'll have to keep a monitor on this. And last but not least for the news today, Tevin Coleman has been activated from IR. And sweet baby Jesus, I cannot figure out which fantasy options to use from the 49ers. It is extremely difficult. Every time you think you have an established running back, Kyle Shanahan rips that right out of your lineup and you get 1.2 points from a running back that might have given you 25 last week. Jeff Wilson's out though. Tevin Coleman's coming back. If you're really desperate, go pick up Tevin Coleman, because when he does play, if all these other assets are still out and Jarrett McKinnon is on the back of a milk carton, you can throw Tevin Coleman in there and there's still a 40% chance that he won't get you anything. I don't know, but he's coming back, so look for it if you need it. Let's get on to the game theory portion of the show. Hit them in their weak spots. Guys, we have to know which assets to use against which teams when it comes down to a close decision. Now, I'm not talking about your proven assets, your Devontae Adams, your DeAndre Hopkins and Alvin Kamara, your Calvin Ridley. These guys you're going to play no matter what, no matter who the opponent is. You're going to play these guys. But there are some guys that you only want to play in juicy matchups. A juicy matchup is a weak spot in the opponent's team. And it's going to be up to you to decide which players this pertains to, because it is team dependent. Not the actual team, but your fantasy team. It all depends on which players you have available to choose from to alter your lineup, to pick and choose which guys you want to put in what week. Because you have your locks, you have your mid-tier guys, and hopefully you don't have guys that you don't want to use at all, but some people still do. Now, your mid-tier, mid-level, non-lock wide receivers, you want to play against Tennessee, Seattle, Atlanta, Cleveland, Dallas. These guys are going to give you the most points to wide receivers because they are hurting at cornerback and safety. Your mid-level, non-lock running backs, you want to play against these run funnel defenses: Detroit, Carolina, Green Bay, Las Vegas, and the New York Jets, because they are lacking on the line and at linebacker. And for your tight ends who are not locks, if you have the luxury of having more than one, which basically the only locks are Kelsey, Kittle, and Andrews at this point. But you want to play those against these defenses who can't stop passes over the middle. That would be Philadelphia, Cincinnati, New Orleans, and Buffalo, and Atlanta. Dear God, Atlanta, you made the list twice. Anyways, play those guys against these teams for best results. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Hurry Up Offense. Please consider subscribing to the Beyond Football channel. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.